Stop. Right now, you're wearing a mask. And the worst part? You've worn it so long you think it's your actual face. What if I told you Carl Jung discovered the one rule to rip it off, but warned that 99% of people are too terrified to do it? Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Like you're constantly performing for an invisible audience? That nagging feeling isn't random. Jung spent his entire life studying it, and what he found will either set you free or scare you back into hiding. Today we're going deep, and I promise, the last thing I share will hit you so hard, you'll never see yourself the same way again. Picture this. You wake up tomorrow and suddenly everyone can see through your act. Your fake smile, your people-pleasing, that everything's fine, routine, all exposed. Terrifying, right? But here's what Jung discovered. That terror you just felt, it's precisely why you're stuck. Most people sleepwalk through life. Not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. They're zombies wearing business suits, smiling at parties, posting happy photos while dying inside. Jung's one rule breaks this spell. Become your authentic self, even if it costs you everything. Simple? Sure. Easy? Hell no. See, becoming authentic isn't like changing your hairstyle. Jung called it individuation, a fancy word for the most painful journey you'll ever take. It's like performing surgery on yourself while you're awake. You have to dig into your unconscious mind, pull out all the ugly stuff you've buried, and somehow make peace with it. Why would anyone do this? Because the alternative is worse. Every time you fake a smile when you want to scream, every time you say yes when your soul shouts no, you're slowly killing the real you. And Jung knew that a corpse doesn't stay buried. It rots from the inside out. Let me ask you something. How many times today did you lie? Not big lies, the small ones. I'm fine. Sounds great. No problem. Each lie is a brick in the wall between you and your authentic self. Jung warned, the world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. Think about that. If you don't define yourself, Amazon ads will. Instagram will. Your toxic boss will. Your anxious mother will. Everyone gets a vote except the one person who matters. You. Here's the thing nobody tells you about authenticity. It's expensive. Not in money. In everything else. When you stop being who others want, you lose things. Friends who only liked nice you, gone. The job where you play the perfect employee, threatened. That relationship was built on pretending, crumbling. This is why Jung said most people are too weak. Not physically weak, spiritually weak. Because choosing yourself over approval feels like jumping off a cliff without knowing if there's water below. But wait, it gets darker. Jung discovered something called the shadow. Basically, all the parts of yourself you've stuffed in the basement. Your anger, jealousy, shame, those weird desires you won't even admit in therapy. It's not just the bad stuff either. Sometimes it's your creativity, your power, your brilliance. Things you buried because someone once said they were too much. Imagine you're dragging an invisible suitcase everywhere. You can't see it, but man, it's heavy. That's your shadow. And here's the kicker. Until you open that suitcase and deal with what's inside, it controls everything. Your relationships, your choices, even your random Tuesday afternoon meltdowns. Quick test. Think of someone who absolutely irritates you. Got them? Good. Now what bugs you explicitly about them? Their arrogance, their neediness, their fake positivity. Congratulations. You just met a piece of your shadow. We hate in others what we refuse to see in ourselves. His rule says you have to make friends with these parts. Do not become them, integrate them. It's like discovering you have a twin you never knew about, and they're a jerk, but still family. You can't just pretend they don't exist. Most people think they're good people because they don't do bad things. Jung laughed at this. He said those who think they're purely good are the most dangerous. They're so busy pointing at everyone else's darkness, they never their own. It's like having a monster in your basement while you're busy judging your neighbor's lawn. When you deny your capacity for darkness, it doesn't vanish, it waits. Then one day, boom, explode at your kid. You sabotage your promotion, you blow up your marriage, and you stand there thinking, that wasn't me. But it was. It was you who refused to acknowledge. Now here's where it gets really messed up. Society doesn't want you to be authentic. Authentic people are unpredictable. They ask uncomfortable questions. They don't buy things to fill the void because they've already faced it. From day one, you're trained like a circus animal. Sit still. Color inside the lines. Don't be too loud, too quiet, too different, too much. By the time you're an adult, you're so well trained that you police yourself. You don't need anyone to tell you to conform. You do it automatically. Think about your daily routine. How much of it is really yours? That morning coffee, do you actually like it, or is it what adults do? Your career, did you choose it, or did it choose you based on what seemed respectable? Your opinions about politics, relationships, and success, are they yours, or did you inherit them like old furniture? Jung called this the collective, the massive groupthink that keeps everyone in line. Breaking free from it feels like betraying your tribe, because in a way you are. You're saying, your rules don't work for me anymore. I won't sugarcoat this. When you start becoming authentic, you get lonely. Not always, but often. It's like speaking a new language that most people don't understand. Your old friends might say you've changed. Translation, you're not playing your assigned role anymore. Your family might worry you're having a crisis. Translation, you're not predictable anymore. But here's what Jung understood. This loneliness isn't emptiness. It's spaciousness. It's the breathing room you get when you stop carrying everyone else's expectations. It's like finally taking off shoes that were 2 sizes too small. Sure, the ground might be cold at first, but at least you can feel it. Okay, remember that powerful insight I promised? Here it is. To become who you really are, you have to destroy who you pretend to be. Not metaphorically, actually. That people-pleasing personality you've perfected has to die. A career built on other people's definitions of success might need to burn. What is the relationship in which you play a role? It either transforms or ends. This isn't cruel, it's necessary. You can't renovate a house while living in it. Sometimes you have to tear it down to the foundation. Here's the mind-bending part. The more authentic you become, the less you belong anywhere. You're too real for the fake world, too grounded for the spiritual bypasses, too complex for simple categories. You become what Jung called individuated, whole but alone, complete but separate. Sounds terrible, right? Except it's not. Because for the first time in your life, you belong to yourself. You're not renting your identity from society, you own it. And that ownership? That's what Jung called freedom. So here you are. You can close this video, go back to scrolling, pretend you didn't hear any of this. Tomorrow you'll wake up, put on the same mask, play the same role, feel the same quiet desperation. Safe but suffocating. Or you can make a different choice. You can decide that truth matters more than comfort. That being real matters more than being liked. That your one life, your only life, deserves to be lived by you, not by committee. Jung said something that haunts me. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But notice he told privilege, not guarantee. Most people die without ever meeting themselves. They get buried in a suit they hated, mourned by people who never knew them, leaving behind a life that was never theirs. Don't let that be you. Not because I said so, but because somewhere inside, beneath all the masks and roles and fears, something in you is screaming to be born. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness? That sense that there's more? That's not anxiety. That's your authentic self, knocking on the door, asking how much longer you're going to make it wait. You want to know how to start? Tomorrow, do one thing, just one, that the real you wants to do, but the fake you would never allow. Say no to something you'd usually say yes to. Speak up when you'd usually stay quiet. Wear something inappropriate. Quit something that's slowly killing you. It'll feel weird, scary, wrong even. That's good. That discomfort, that's the feeling of your authentic self stretching its legs for the first time in years, maybe decades. But I have to warn you, once you start, there's no going back. Once you taste authenticity, everything fake becomes unbearable. Small feels like torture. Shallow relationships feel like prison. The old life that used to fit starts feeling like a straitjacket. Some people can't handle this. They try authenticity for a week, get scared, and run back to their cages. And Jung would say that's fine. Not everyone is ready. But if you're still listening, if something in you is saying yes, even while your mind screams no, then you might be one of the rare ones. The ones strong enough to follow the rule. Here's what Jung won't promise you: that it'll be easy, that everyone will understand, that you'll always be happy. Here's what he will promise: you'll be alive, really alive. Not existing, not performing, not pretending, living. You'll know what it feels like to look in the mirror and recognize the person looking back. You'll see the peace that comes from saying what you mean, doing what feels right, being who you are, even when the whole world says you're wrong. The truth is, you already know all of this. Deep down, beneath the fear and doubt and excuses, you know. You know you're wearing a mask. You know you're playing a role. You know you're capable of so much more than this careful, calculated performance you call a life. The question isn't whether Jung's rule is valid. The question is whether you're brave enough to follow it, whether you're willing to pay the price for your own soul, whether you can handle the beautiful, terrifying, liberating truth of who you really are. So what's it going to be? Another year of pretending? Another decade of performing? Or starting today, right now, the journey back to yourself? The mask is heavy. Aren't you tired of carrying it? Jung's rule is simple. Become who you truly are, even if it costs you everything. The time to choose isn't tomorrow. It's now, this moment, this breath. Who are you when no one's watching? It's time to find out. And if you felt something while watching this, that flutter of recognition, that mix of fear and excitement, don't ignore it. That's not just emotion. That's your authentic self saying, finally, someone's listening. The question is, will you keep listening, or will you hit pause on your own life again? The choice has always been yours. Jung just gave you permission to make it.